Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Cool Eagle. Once again coming at you in the most unfortunate times right now. Usually I do an intro right now, but fuck the intro. I don't even care. The the Eagles are who we thought they were. The Philadelphia Eagles are who we thought they were. They're the most fraudulent team in the NFL. They're the worst 11 and 5 team in the league. I definitely have to agree with Joey Shakes and shout out Joey Shakes. This team looks like the 2018, I'm sorry, the last year's Minnesota Vikings with, winning close games that don't really make you feel good as a fan. Like, what game from this from this Philadelphia Eagles season can I really feel good about going into the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Like that, like this Eagles team has been middling all week, and a lot of other sports fans around the league are like we're talking about that. If you look back at the Eagles' wins, a lot of those wins are based off luck. And I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to, delve into it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't even want to like give that thought any kind of light because you're playing good football. But when I really look back, because hindsight is always the most perfect vision, I've been told. Hindsight is 2020, right? When I really look back at the gauntlet with the Bills, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, we really got at those games like with luck, man. Those games were pure luck because the Chiefs, they were a Marquez Valdez Scantling catch away from leaving that game with a win, even though there was a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock for the Eagles to do something. But after what I've been seeing these past couple weeks, the Eagles, like, you can't rely on them to do shit. The Eagles are trash. I've never seen more trash defense than I've ever seen today versus a 3-12 team. You had Nick Sirianni take his corny ass on a radio broadcast, and shout out to Sports Broadcast WIP in Philadelphia. Great group of guys doing everything Philadelphia. Make sure you guys will check them out. But you had Nick Sirianni, goofy ass, going up there talking shit about Jonathan Gannon, saying what he was gonna do and what the Eagles are not gonna do. But what I saw was the complete opposite. I saw the Eagles not win and lose like in the most crazy of fashions. You literally had this game won in the last 2 minutes, but on one of the last two drives, Brian Johnson's stupid ass, he wants to do two quarterback draws, especially a quarterback draw on second and long. Who thinks of doing some shit like that? Who thinks of that? Why would you run a quarterback draw on second and 16? No one is doing that. Not even the worst of offensive coordinators think about doing shit like this. Is this a conspiracy? Are the Eagles really just trying to, mosey their way into the playoffs and think that they're going to somehow switch gears? That's not how this that's not how this is going to happen. The Eagles are not my AMG Mercedes. You're not going to switch gears and go from 0 to 60 in 3.5. You're not going to do that. This Eagles team is more like a 1990 Buick with transmission problems because they can't do shit on the offensive side of the ball. They can't stop nobody. And even on a pick six by rookie Sidney Brown, you still couldn't bring life into this team to do nothing right. You're letting Kyler Murray have the best game of the season. That man had 4 touchdowns to 1 interception when he came into the game with goddamn 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So the Eagles pretty much double his output for the whole season. Kyler Murray pretty much saved his job with the win over the Philadelphia Eagles because the Cardinals were in the lottery to get Marvin Harrison Jr. or they would have allowed to get a Caleb Williams because we heard all the talks about what was going on with the Cardinals camp, about how they were thinking of moving on from Kyler Murray, going into the draft and starting all over. Goddamn, and then you got Kyler Murray with nothing else to play for, let them come into your house, open your refrigerator, open your bread. Didn't even put the little thing that goes in the bread to wrap it up, a little plastic thing to like y'all know what I'm talking about. He took out the bread, took out the mayonnaise and mustard. I don't know if you like mayonnaise or mustard. Made himself a sandwich, got your Doritos, put some chips on the goddamn plate, and ate in your goddamn house. That's what happened. This team don't deserve no first round bye. And shout out to the 49ers. Y'all, the 49ers deserve everything they got, even after a terrible performance in Baltimore with Brock Purdy throwing 4 interceptions. We don't deserve shit. We don't even deserve the number 2 seed because we lost that. The Dallas Cowboys have the number 2 seed right now, and they're going to march into Washington next week and beat the brakes off them and go and have a home playoff game. And look, I would not be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys were to go to the NFC Championship and actually go to the Super Bowl. That's how weird and lopsided this whole season's been. Now, we can talk about the refereeing. We can talk about the miscues and turnovers. But what about the leadership on this team? What leader on this team is stepping up and getting into these guys' asses and letting them know that you're supposed to play better than this? With the stars and talent you have on offense, you're supposed to be playing better than this. You're supposed to be better. And then on defense, you go out and get all-pro Shaq Leonard, who got his ass juked and shucked and jived by Michael Carter. And then you got Kyler Murray throwing 4 touchdown passes to no-name wide receivers. The Cardinals don't have a number 1 wide receiver, but yet you let them march all on your ass. You let them march down the field on consecutive 70-yard drives. The Cardinals scored on every single possession in the second half. This is not, man, Jonathan Gannon was like, okay, so y'all want just some revenge on me? Y'all want revenge on me for what I did in the Super Bowl, even though I was half the reason y'all got there? Okay, I'm going to give you something that reminds you of the Super Bowl, bitch. And that's what he did. In the second half, consecutive 70-yard drives marching down the field on the Eagles' ass in Philadelphia and sent your ass packing. This whole coaching staff needs to be fired. Matt Patricia is no better than Sean Desai. And I don't give a damn about this is Sean Desai's playbook and Matt Patricia is somehow a victim, because he's not. Because no matter how bad a defensive coordinator scheme is, you should be able to call the right plays to get your guys in the right position. And I'm not even mad at the secondary. I'm really not. Because as far as I'm concerned, at least we didn't get burned by fucking James Bradbury again, even though there were a couple plays where he got shucked and jived by Michael Carter and ran over into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about all that. But if you're not putting these guys in the right position to win, and you're having them go into these games, these tight games against teams that you should be putting away, that does not bode well for the team. I would not be surprised if somebody gets fired. I would not be surprised if this team has stopped believing in Nick Sirianni, because I feel like at this point he's lost the locker room. I feel like Brian Johnson has lost a locker room. I feel like Matt Patricia, Sean Desai has lost a locker room. Howie Roseman has lost confidence in his coach. There are a lot of questions. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are going to have to go in the lab and ask a lot of questions going into these playoffs where it does not look good. Because right now, if the playoffs were to start today, the Eagles would be the 5th seed, and they would have to go to Tampa Bay and probably lose. Even though Tampa Bay just got their ass whooped today by the New Orleans Saints. But that really doesn't mean a hill of beans, because all that tells me is that the Philadelphia Eagles still have to go on the road. And I know Jalen Hurts is 5-2 on the road, whatever. But you do not want to go into a hostile environment like Tampa Bay, where they are believing that they can make a quality run in the playoffs post Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know what to believe about this team anymore. I don't have I personally don't have any questions because all my questions have been answered after this game. Oh no, oh no, oh no. If y'all thought Cool Eagle had questions about this team going into this game, all those questions were answered in capital letters, Arial font, size 16. All questions have been answered about the Philadelphia Eagles team, and this whole coaching staff needs to be fired. Whole coach staff needs to be fired because Nick Sirianni has lost the locker room. I am 99% sure of that. I'm willing to bet my whole work week check. I'm willing to bet a whole check that Nick Sirianni has lost this locker room because the Eagles are fraudulent. What other name can you call the Eagles besides fraudulent? Because what is the very definition of fraudulent? You have a very, very, very high powered offense, and I don't want to hear about it because you got Devontae Smith, a Heisman winner, A.J. Brown, a perennial Pro Bowler, All Pro, Jalen Hurts, All Pro, a Pro Bowl offensive lineman, Pro Bowl running back. You got 2,000-yard receivers, 1,000-yard rusher, a guy that broke Cam Newton's record for rushing touchdowns in a season, no matter how we got him. And you go out and you make a performance like this. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that on any circumstances because that is the definition of fraudulent. You have all this talent, but you have these tight games against teams that you should be putting away. A 3-12 team like the Arizona Cardinals should not be marching into Philadelphia and getting a win how they did. This game should have not been as close. We should have put up 30 on these guys by the middle of the third quarter. That's how bad. I mean, but that's if you're not fraudulent, though, because the 49ers put up 45 on these guys, right? So, and I'm using the metric of comparison here, even though we know that old people say that comparison is the thief of joy. But if you look at the comparisons of how the 49ers played the Cardinals and these other teams compared to how we play the Cardinals, we're not better than the 49ers. So how can we say that we are a Super Bowl contender or a contender of anything when we can't even beat the teams how other good teams beat these teams? And I'm gonna look at the comments. Thank you guys for showing up and watching my nonsense, man. I know y'all probably have better things to do. Like, subscribe. Salute steady grinding. Oh, what's up, my dog? King Rose. Yeah. King Rose. Hey, man, look, man. I've seen weird things happen. Cowboys could go to the Super Bowl this year and lose it. Hey, man, crazy season. Anything can happen. Hey, yeah, salute, man. But anyway, like, back to it. The Eagles cannot be called Super Bowl contenders. You can't call a team a Super Bowl contenders if you can't beat teams the way other Super Bowl contenders are beating them. You know, the 49ers beat the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers beat the brakes off us. So are we better than the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers? By that logic, no. Not by a long shot. I mean, the Cowboys beat the brakes off the New York Jets. The Eagles lost to the Jets. You know what I'm saying? The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. The Cardinals beat us. So what does that tell you? I mean, the Eagles are clearly not a good team. The Eagles are 1-4 in their last 5 games. They haven't had a quality win all season, and now you want us to be like an AMG Mercedes and go from 0 to 60 in 3.5 and make that switch in the playoffs. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like, y'all are better off rooting for your alternative team, and it's okay if you have an alternative team outside of the Eagles. It's a safe bet for times like these when your team is so trash, you don't believe in them. The team itself doesn't believe in themselves. The team itself isn't buying into the coaching staff. So, look, like, if you got an alternative team that's not in the same division, go root for them. Because I'm rooting for Baltimore. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we need the Baltimore Ravens to save the culture right now. You know what I'm saying? Because the Eagles just clearly can't get it done. We don't know what the Cowboys are going to do in the playoffs because history tells us that I mean, every time the Cowboys get into the playoffs, they don't do anything. So, and let me check out these comments again, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for showing up, showing out. Your boy, love doing this with you guys. Let's see. Still Jay, go Cowboys. Yeah. Yep. 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 Go Cowboys. Go Mets gang. Yep. Trash. Yep. I agree. Cowboys all day. Yep. I agree. Cowboys all day. Yes, for sure. Still Jay, steady grind. Yep. SSL TV. No sir. Cowboys only. Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. The Cowboys are the best team in this division. They're probably going to make a good playoff run if they don't shoot themselves in the foot like they routinely do since 1997. But I don't know what the hell the Eagles are going to do because you can't win a good quality game at home. You can't point to a game on your schedule that's good. And like, let's just talk about the game itself in general, right? Because like I know a lot of people were talking about Matt Patricia and his transition into the defensive coordinator role, but how's he any better? How's he any better? You got burnt by Greg Dortch. You got burnt by no one, not even a casual fan can name a number one wide receiver on the Cardinals that's a threat to anybody. But they sure can put up 38 points, 35 points on the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that much. So they clearly can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just really at a loss for words. I'm really at a loss for words. King Rose said fins up. Oh yeah. I'm saying fins up. I'm saying like I know Tua had a bad game, and there are a lot of questions about Tua right now as to whether he can be the leader of this team going into the playoffs. But hey, the Dolphins are in a better position than the Eagles are. I'll tell you that much. But obviously, we got to see what these injuries are going to be like because if you were watching the game, they had a plethora of really bad injuries on that team. They had Bradley Chubb go out with a possibly serious injury. You had Xavier Howard go out on a cart, and anytime you see a player go out on the cart, it's not really it's really not a good sign, because if he could walk out on his own, he would have did that, But because of the cart, is it like a high ankle sprain? Did he pop something? Is it a really bad knee injury? I really didn't see the full play of how he injured himself. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the AFC is still wide open, even though I still feel like there's really nobody that could catch up to the Dolphins at this point, unless you're the Cleveland Browns, who are looking like a really good team right now. But this season is over for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not even gonna front with y'all, man. I'm not going to sit here and try to give y'all any confidence, any false confidence. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I pride my channel on. That's not what I pride myself on. Even though in real life, I am an optimist. You know what I'm saying? I try to be the optimist, but this time I just can't lie to you guys right now. Like there's nothing as a diehard Eagles fan, as you can clearly see, there's nothing that I can say to you guys that would instill any kind of confidence that would lead you to believe that, oh, maybe the Eagles have a chance. Because again, I look at the schedule. I'm gonna show y'all the schedule right now, actually. And again, guys, thank you guys for showing up, showing out. I love doing this with you guys. But take a look at this schedule, right? Because the Eagles have to go to MetLife Stadium. And if you've been watching my previous videos, I've said that I do not want to see the Philadelphia Eagles at MetLife because of all the injuries. Even though, who really cares what Eagles player gets injured at this point? Because we're not going to be a threat in the playoffs. So who really gives a fuck at this point, right? So we got to go to MetLife and play the Giants, who are probably smelling blood in the water at this point. That's probably going to be another close game that doesn't have to be close. But look at the Cowboys schedule. They have to play the Commanders the last game of the season, and just depending on how this NFC playoff picture goes, they might not even have to play their starters. They might just rest everybody in this game and get ready for their home playoff game at that number 2 seed, because the Lions are not going to rebound from that loss they took last night. And if you were watching my video last night, I explained why the Lions are not going to bounce back from that loss last night. So the Cowboys are going to lock up that number 2 seed. the 49ers. I'm still going to watch out for this Rams game right here because, you know, if you but then again, the 49ers clinched the number 1 seed because no matter what happens, they have the tiebreaker and the strength of schedule over not strength of schedule, but they have the tiebreaker over Dallas and Philadelphia. So it doesn't really matter at this point. And then the Lions, they got to play the Vikings a division game. If they win that, who really cares? Because they're still going to be leading their division, and the Eagles are going to be that 5 seed, having to play on the road, possibly in Tampa. And look at this playoff bracket right here, right? So the Eagles lost today, and again, guys, this is not a updated bracket. This is from last week, but Baltimore is still in that number 1 seed. Cleveland is still in that number 5. But looking at Philadelphia, because they lost today, they have to go into Tampa Bay and play a Buccaneers team that could easily upset the Eagles because you got to look at the talent that they have. They got Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin. They got Baker Mayfield, who's playing some really good football. The line is like the offensive line would be the weakness of that Buccaneers team, but your pass rush can't get to nobody. We couldn't even get to Kyler Murray. So what makes you think that we're gonna get to Baker Mayfield, whose offensive line is just as bad as the Cardinals? You know what I'm saying? So, but on the bright side, at least we don't have to go into Seattle and lose and get a guaranteed loss. And I say guaranteed because the Philadelphia Eagles are 0-8 since 2008 versus these same Seattle Seahawks in the regular season and the playoffs. Hard to believe, but it's the facts. You know, and probably when I come down off this anger that I'm feeling right now towards my team, maybe we'll talk about the positives of this number 3, or I'm sorry, this number 5 seed. Because when there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? But right now, this team has no will, so there's no way, right? So right now, the NFC playoff picture, we still have a long Sunday to go. I'm going to go relax, watch the rest of these games, and just ponder how we could have and just ponder on how the Philadelphia Eagles just screwed this whole season away with this loss today that we didn't have to take. But y'all let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments, man. Again, love doing this with you guys. Y'all take it easy. Happy New Year's to all my folk out there. We got a lot of good content on the way. And y'all just stay safe out there, man. I'm just gonna go in the corner and cry now. Take it easy.